Welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now, before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Good morning. I need trans women and black women to come to the front of the congregation because we need to talk. We need to talk because this nonsense out here, this narrative that somehow trans women are trying to erase women or cis women is really out of control, and it needs to stop. And this is probably my second video this week about this subject, and I made a decision. Normally I try to make one or two videos, about a topic if it really moves me, but there have been other topics that have moved me to the point that I've made multiple videos. But this one, every time I see some BS out here, I'm calling it to the carpet. I'm sorry. Because black women need to know that trans women are not your enemy. Okay? So, let me talk to trans women first. Well, first of all, let me do this. Let me play the video that inspired me to make the video that I'm making. It's very similar to one I found the other day. And let me give you some context. As you can see, Hope Giselle is addressing this controversy about the trans community being upset about Aretha Franklin's song, Natural Woman. Now, this whole controversy has been debunked. This was not a real thing, people. This was fake news. Okay? The trans community was not upset about the song, Natural Woman, but someone thought either it was funny or malicious or both and decided to basically, put blood in the water for the sharks to surround. And it did exactly what they wanted it to do because people bought into it. Now, the fact that it's been debunked, no one is talking about that. The fact that it's been proven to be fake news and not true, no one is talking about that. But it's really supporting this narrative that somehow trans women are trying to erase black women or women in general. And so people latch on to it. So Hope is addressing that controversy. So she's going to say what she's going to say. And then there's a young lady who comes back with a cis woman, a natural woman, in the words of Aretha Franklin, who comes back with a rebuttal to Giselle. So let's listen to them both. And then I'm going to come back and give you guys my opinion.
Because it's a lot easier for y'all to believe that trans people want special privileges than it is for y'all to just accept the fact that we want to be treated like everybody else.
No, the truth is you don't want to be treated like everybody else. You want to be treated like a woman. And at the end of the day, trans women are not women. You're trans. Bottom line. And it's offensive every time I see a trans woman actually claim to be a woman. I'm a woman. Let me be a woman. Why do you have to take that from me as a trans woman? Just be trans and be okay with being trans.
Okay, I have to stop it there. We're going to hear it in its entirety, you guys. But I just wanted to stop it there really quick just to say this. She said, I'm a woman. Why can't you just let me be a woman? Here's my thing. You know what? Let me not do that. Let me let her say what she has to say in her entire... I'm not going to... I didn't interrupt Hope, so I'm not going to interrupt her. So let's start this all over from the beginning. Here we go.
Because it's a lot easier for y'all to believe that trans people want special privileges than it is for y'all to just accept the fact that we want to be treated like everybody else.
No, the truth is you don't want to be treated like everybody else. You want to be treated like a woman. And at the end of the day, trans women are not women. You're trans. Bottom line. And it's offensive every time I see a trans woman actually claim to be a woman. I'm a woman. Let me be a woman. Why do you have to take that from me as a trans woman? Just be trans and be okay with being trans. I want to give anybody who is homosexual or transgender their props. And let me explain why. Because a lot of the stuff that y'all do, a lot of the stuff that y'all created, women, men, whoever are out here using that stuff. And I feel like right now, a lot of the beauty trends have a lot to do with things that transgenders have created. All day long, we accept most people from the LGBT community, especially black women. But I just want y'all to allow us to be women. You know what I mean? Like, let us be women and you be trans. Why do you have to be classified as woman? You're not a woman. You are trans. And it's very hurtful. It's very hurtful for you to try to erase women all together and put you in our place.
Because it's a lot easier for y'all to believe that trans people...
Okay, so let's talk to trans women for a moment. Before I talk about what the woman said, the cis woman said, let me talk to the trans community. A lot of this malarkey is being born from a few bad apples, right? So what I'm not going to do is have this video and sit here and pretend like I haven't heard trans women speak negatively of cis women, or again from Aretha, natural women. But I've definitely heard trans women who will say things like, oh, I'm prettier than 99%. I'm prettier than your BI. Like they get very disrespectful about the mouth sometimes, talking about how they've elevated beyond that of a cis woman. And I think that some of the anger and some of the backlash is coming from that, right? And one of my pet peeves is when people act like there isn't an iota of truth to someone's grievance, right? And there is. I definitely have heard the language that some of these women are upset about. But what I need women to understand is that type of language is coming from outliers, right? That type of language is coming from miserable trans women, because just like there are miserable cis women, there are miserable trans women who, and first of all, if we're going to be honest, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't believe that everyone that lives their life as trans is actually trans. Because I honestly believe every year, come Halloween, there are gay men who get dressed up in drag, right? And some of them may have never gotten any shine as a gay man. Zero. And they get dressed up on Halloween, and everyone goes up, oh my God, you're fab. Oh my God, you look good. Oh my God, you turned the function. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? So, they're being ogled and appreciated in a way that they have never been. And that is intoxicating for someone who has been told by their family that they're an F, that they're disgraced, that, they have no place in this world. Suddenly you go from being, nothing to being celebrated. And that is a very powerful and very intoxicating experience. And so sometimes, and not only do they get this praise, all of a sudden these gay men who, again, weren't getting attention necessarily from other gay men are now getting attention from heterosexual men, right? And so it's like, wow, people love me. They tell me how fab I am. I'm also getting attention from men that I wouldn't ordinarily get attention from. Oh, this is where I belong. This is where I want to be. And so they begin to live their lives as trans women. And they're honestly not. And you'll see it if you watch it, look on the internet. You'll see a lot of videos about trans women who have detransitioned. And in my opinion, a lot of those are probably the Halloween converts who got dressed up on Halloween and just took it too far. They took it too far for the wrong reasons. Some of them see it as a money-making opportunity, because men will pay, and pay handsomely, for the company of a trans woman. And a lot of these people who dress up on Halloween figure that out. Excuse me. So I say that to say, sometimes because I can say this for me, and I can't speak for the trans community in its entirety. I can only speak for me. For me, I've never been in competition with another woman, trans, cis, natural, real, whatever label you want to put on yourself. I've never been in competition with another woman. Not for the attention of another male, not for the attention of who's the prettiest. When I look in the mirror, do I think I'm the most beautiful woman in the world? You're damn right I do. You're damn right. And anyone looking in the mirror should feel and think the same thing. I look in the mirror every day and tell myself how bad I am, how fine I am. But that has nothing to do with me thinking that I'm better than another woman. I'm the baddest me. There's not another me that can touch me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, to go back to my point, a lot of these people who are quote-unquote trans, who in my opinion are not authentically trans, and I can't quantify anyone else's transness, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I do believe that there are a lot of gay men who are living a trans experience. And therefore, they have a very competitive energy about them. And therefore, they go onto these blogs, and there also may be other trans women who are trans, but are very insecure. Again, a lot of this energy that you guys see, I think you guys are seeing the result of years and years and years and years and years of hurt, pain, and turmoil. Because a lot of these trans women were once gay men, right? And you live in a society that tells you you're nothing, that you have no worth and no value. And when you become trans in some instances, in many instances, you wind up getting all of this praise and adulation, which some people don't. It's a power trip. It's a power trip. It's like they got a cheat code to life, and now that they have it, they're gonna make everyone else outside of themselves feel less than they are, because everyone has made them feel that way. Does that make sense? Hurt people is what I'm trying to say. And so, if you are trans and you're on these blogs or having these conversations, and I'm not talking about the trolls, because there are trolls, and women, you need to hold other women accountable too. Just like I'm holding trans women accountable today, cis women, women, however you identify. I'm going to keep on saying that because I don't need anyone to come and tell me about women are women and this, that, and the third. However you identify, you need to hold other women accountable, because I feel like people turn a blind eye to the things that are in defense of them, right? So I'll give you an example. So as a trans woman, I might see a comment that is trans related, and there's and all of these people are saying these transphobic things in the comments. Oh, you'll never be a real woman. Oh, you'll never be this. Oh, you'll never be that. Or you don't believe one. Excuse me. And I may see these comments and not say anything about them because my eye is not drawn to that comment. My eye is drawn to all of the transphobic comments. It's not drawn to the female phobic comments, right? And we have to hold each other's feet to the fire, because the reality is, listen, if you are a woman, you don't need my approval to be that. I don't have the power, the authority, or the dominion to make you anything. I don't have the power or dominion or authority to take away anything from you. You are empowered to be who and what you are. The problem that I think a lot of this issue comes from is that I think that for some trans women, for some women, they see womanhood as a birthright, right? And some trans women see womanhood as a social construct. Does that make sense? And so let me give you an example, right? So some women feel like, okay, I'm 18, I have my period, I've gone through puberty, I'm married, I have a family, I'm a woman. I'm a woman because all of those sort of ticks or benchmarks that I needed to hit in order to, become a woman, I've done that. Because that's how based on my perception, that's what a woman is. But what it means to be a woman has been expanding, and a lot of this expansion of what it means to be a woman is directly correlated to or connected to the women's liberation movement, where women wanted to be doctors, women wanted to be engineers, women wanted to be attorneys, a lot of things that at one point in time they weren't allowed to be, because that quote unquote wasn't what a woman was or what a woman was supposed to do. A woman was to be seen and not heard, barefoot and pregnant, baking pies, there to serve her husband. And women reached a point where they said, no, I'm more than that. I'm more than that. And they began to redefine what it meant to be a woman. And so if you can redefine something, that makes it a social construct, right? You can't redefine male or female, right? So you may be female, but being female in the minds of many trans does not make you a woman. Do you follow that? I hope that makes sense. And so for a lot of trans women, womanhood is aspirational. It's something you can aspire to and you can attain if you align with what it means based on their ideals of a woman, if you reach that point. I'm sorry, guys, for all this coughing, but I think I had COVID again. But anyway, so that's where I think the disconnect comes from. And like I was saying, no one has the power to make you anything but you. You guys give the trans community way too much power when you ask us to allow you to be a woman. We can't allow you to be anything. And I need you to keep that same energy, women, cis women. I need you to keep that same energy for the Supreme Court of the United States, because that is who is not allowing you to be a woman. That is who is taking away your bodily autonomy. And I don't see videos about that. I don't see people up. It's like they just decided to take women's reproductive rights away, and women were just like, oh, okay. All right, life goes on. Trans women don't have the right to legislate. We're not telling you what you can and cannot do with your bodies. And that's why, to me, there's a degree of selective outrage about this. And that's why you guys have to understand that we're fighting or having these conversations, in my opinion, about something that has absolutely no value. When you wake up in the morning, do you see a woman? Then damn it, you are a woman. Don't be waiting for my approval. Don't. Be a woman. You don't need my approval as a trans woman, just let me be a woman. No, you just let you be a woman. I don't have no control over that. You let you be a woman. You don't need my approval. My existence does not somehow lessen or diminish your ability to be a woman. And she said something I found interesting in the video. She said, you be trans. Why can't you just be treated like a trans? So what would be the difference in the way a trans woman is treated versus the way a woman is treated? What's the difference there? Help me understand that. Because at the end of the day, we should be treating human beings like human beings. Man, woman, or child, you should be treating people kindly. You should be treating people with respect. You should be treating people with dignity. So I'm trying to understand what would be the difference in treatment. Since you want to be treated like a woman and you want a trans to be treated like a trans, what would be the difference in treatment? How do you want trans women to be treated? If you want to be treated and respected as a woman, how do you want trans people to be treated? Because apparently there is some difference in how each one should be treated. And I need to know what that is. I need to know what that is because, like I said, it shouldn't matter whether it's man, woman, or child, or trans. You should treat everyone with kindness, dignity, and respect. The same respect, kindness, and dignity that you want and feel that you inherently deserve, you should give that to everyone. The same patience, the same understanding, the same compassion, the same empathy. You should give that to everyone. It shouldn't matter what their gender identity, sexual orientation is. It just shouldn't matter. And when you say things like we accept, first of all, I don't need anyone's acceptance. I don't need anyone's tolerance. Tolerate your dog. Tolerate your puppy. Tolerate your man. I'm not looking for respect. For tolerance or acceptance from anyone. And honestly, I'm not even looking for your respect because you don't matter to me. And when I say you, I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about anyone other than me. My mother. But my happiness, my gender identity, is not affirmed by anyone other than me. Sorry, I'm getting a message. So, I need y'all to keep that same energy, like I said, for the Supreme Court. I need y'all to keep that, we don't want to be called CIS. What is the big deal about this word, CIS? Is that what has women upset? Because it boggles my mind. Again, we're going to talk about the selective outrage for a second, that every hip-hop lyric I hear is referring to women as B's and H's. B's and H's. You guys are supporting people like the baby who disrespect women on a whole other level, right? The R. Kellys, people still rocking to R. Kelly music, the Trey songs. These are people that people still support. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. You pick a song, any rap song, and you can go in there and find a man calling a woman out of her name. I'm sure if I listen to a Drake song, who is seen to not be stereotypically misogynistic, but I'm sure Drake has called women B's and H's, and they clamor when he releases a new album. No one's sitting there saying, oh, I'm not buying Drake's song because he disrespects women. He calls women out of their name. They're not doing that. They're lining up for tickets. But the word CIS has somehow become this dog whistle for transphobia. As if it's meant to hurt or to malign women. It's not. It's not. So if you want to be mad about the treatment of women, about how women are spoken to and spoken about, I need you to keep that same energy across the board. I need you to be mad about the N-word. It amazes me that CIS is problematic for some women of color, but the N-word they spew with absolutely reckless abandon. I don't say the N-word. I don't use it. It is not in my vocabulary because I think it's ignorant. I said it and I meant it. I think it's ignorant. I will stop talking to a guy because sometimes, guys will refer to themselves in the third person as the N-word. Like, holla at an N-word. I'm going to holler at you, but it's going to be, get out my face. It's like, don't refer yours. I want a black man. I want a black king. I want someone who is regal in their energy. I want someone who is refined in their energy. I don't date N-words. That's not my jam. And I don't like hearing black men refer to themselves as the N-word. I don't care how many times you tell me that you flipped it and taken ownership of it. Don't just, it's not my thing. You can call yourself, use that type of language with your homeboys, but I'm not here for it. I don't like it. I understand the importance of language. Women themselves refer to each other as the B word. Be it. Don't act like I'm making this up. And have absolutely no issues with referring to each other as such. Women have gay men friends who they call B word and in turn call them the B words, and they have absolutely no issue with it. But CIS is a problem. CIS? Y'all, we gotta be smarter than this. DeSantis is trying to take over. He is trying to quiet the trans community. He is trying to quiet the black community. He is trying to erase anything that is not traditionally male and white, right? And if we don't stop this infighting about things that have absolutely no real value, this is how Trump snuck into the office on us last time. And I know a lot of people are not the biggest fans of Joe Biden and feel like he hasn't done the job that we wish he could have done. But hell, he's undoing 4 years of damage for one. In addition to that, Joe is up there. And I wish we had, someone who was a little bit more contemporary. But I'm going to take Joe until he's 1,000 before Ron DeSantis. And that's what we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on there is strength in numbers, and this whole thing is about dividing and conquering. And we are allowing ourselves to be divided and to be conquered when we argue about minutia and things that really have no value. This is a baseless argument. I don't have the power to make you a woman, and I don't have the power to take away you being a woman. That power belongs to you. Step into your own power. Step into your own light. Be in control of you and realize that nothing exterior has any impact on you. Not the opinions, anyway. Or the perceptions. Excuse me. I think I talked enough about this subject. I hope you understand where I stand. So in closing, let me say this. Trans women, if you're a trans woman out there who is out here disparaging women, it needs to stop. You're hurting and not helping. Women are advocates for the trans community. We need women. If you're a woman out there who is for some reason anti-trans, ask yourself, why do I dislike trans people so much? Why? Especially if you haven't really encountered one or spent time with someone who's trans, because I know y'all want to believe that trans women just arrived on Earth from Mars, from a different planet, from planet Transium. But we're really just people. Some are kind, some are thoughtful, some are a-holes. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a spectrum. And I think sometimes people think that because you're trans and at this point, society is giving you a small degree of freedom. Like, you need to humble yourself and appreciate the little bit that we've given you and not play for team too much. We got to figure this out, because if DeSantis gets in that office, Lord have mercy. Whew. This man just took away Disney's rights to govern the area that they've been governing within Florida for 50 plus years. DeSantis said, "Oh, you're gonna speak out?" He's being petty and hateful. Are you gonna speak up on behalf of the LGBTQIA+ plus community? Oh, okay. Let me show you. We're not playing with you. And now they're taking AP studies, and talking about critical race theory, trying to erase black people. And you guys are sitting here arguing about who is what and who calls you what. Y'all better figure it out before it's too late. Figure it out. Okay? All right. Leave the comments below, because I'm really curious to know what you think and what your feelings are about this whole... Just comment below. Do me a favor, you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you care. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when we can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Mass Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Bye-bye.